Hi guys, Claire here, and I'm a very reluctant mom.
Yes.
Joining us today.
I'm here under great
Duress.
duress.
You can't see, there's a gun underneath the chair pointed at her right now. But this is my mom, Jane.
Hi, everybody.
I know, and I thought it'd be really fun today to have her join us because we're talking about my birth story, and you had a very special role in my birth story.
I did. Your mother doula.
The mother doula,
Yes.
the diva doula.
Diva doula.
She has a t-shirt and everything that says diva doula on it.
That's right.
It's true.
And I did wear it during the happy hours of labour.
Yeah, the first half.
When we were just surfing. We were
So
just
naive.
Skating.
Living on the west side of LA, I was constantly asked, who's your doula? Which, you know, I was kind of like, I don't know. My doula is no one. And then finally I just started saying my mom because I thought it would get them off my case and because I knew you would be there.
That's right.
And then my mom heard this and she's like, you've been telling people that I'm your doula? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And then tell them what you did.
Well, I just went and took a doula class. And
She became
I
a certified doula.
became a certified doula.
My mom is an amazing caregiver. I always knew that she was going to be in the room with me because you are always like the greatest comfort to me whenever I'm, you know, even as a little kid, I used to have things like night terrors and, you know, and she always had a method of calming me. And it was really fun to see that in the doula class, it was a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, the same stuff actually. Yeah, it was everything I'd always been doing, but now it's called dueling.
Exactly. So now it's like, oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's just the Jane Thomas method. Leading up to giving birth, Craig, my husband, and her kind of became like the little team.
Yes, it was a great team.
It was. We had to kind of divide and conquer and figure out like what everybody's role was so that everyone had like a defined sort of space inside, you know, kind of throughout the labor.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't want to interfere with you and Craig's experience because that's very special for a couple and you want to allow that, you know, intimate experience to take place. So yeah, we divvied it up.
Yeah.
Craig was like on oxygen and holding your hand and holding your head, and I was on lavender spray and cold compresses.
Oh my God. Well, she was in the splash zone.
Yeah, I was.
So
there with
she
the doctors.
actually saw
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, Craig
avoided that.
Yeah. Because that's like watching your favourite pub burn down, apparently. That's what the guys say. You were just ridiculously strong and brave, and you know, I said to the doctor, oh no, this is a Disney princess, this is not an athlete. And you know, she just went above and beyond. I've never known anyone to push for 5.5 hours, so that was just this epic effort, and she was so determined and didn't lose an eyelash. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Got those fake lashes in. So, like, to take it back a step from the beginning of the story.
Yes.
So, James was a big baby, and my doctor was like, okay, literally too big, we need to induce. I was tracking almost identical to your pregnancies. Just really easy, low key, like, psh, this is like not a big deal. So I was very overconfident going into labor. I was scared, you know, I like had a good little cry in the morning and prayed and the whole thing. But once we were there, I thought, oh yeah, they'll put me on the Pitocin, James will come out like a slip and slide and this will be no big deal.
Oh, groovy.
Yeah. And so basically we showed up at about 6 a.m. at the hospital, and Mom had her little wheelie bag.
Yes, with Craig's duvet and his pillow and all his little night lights. And then we kind of labored very casually from 9 to about 4:30.
Yeah, they put me on Pitocin, and so
very easy.
it was like, you know, and I was thinking, I was having contractions I could see on the monitor, and I kept thinking like, oh, this is no big deal. Like, I guess I'm in a 6. I don't know. You know, like, I totally thought that this was like, I just was a badass Amazonian warrior who just like didn't feel things like an idiot. And anyway, so we waited like, at this point, 4:30, so almost 12 hours. The nurse comes in, my doctor comes in, and they measure me. And they're like, okay, like, I think, how far was it?
I think you were 3 to 4, and they said they're going to break the water.
Yeah, they were like, this is not really happening, so they broke the water. And that for me was really emotional, because that was when it was like, oh, this is happening.
That's right.
This is not happening.
Getting real.
And also, just to kind of give a little bit of a context, this was on Craig's birthday.
Yes, we're trying to get that kid here. I had a feeling he didn't want to come on Dad's birthday. I felt like he wanted his own day, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think we're going to do it. But anyway, and sure enough.
Yeah, James is a stubborn, just like his dad, stubborn little guy, and wanted to have his own birthday. So
they can have it on the same weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll still have like joint birthday parties, but
Yes.
James's birthday is on July 25th. Craig's birthday,
July
24th. You know, Craig's birthday. And so we had like people coming in and out a bit. Like my sister came, my brother came. We kept joking that Henry was going to stay for the whole thing and cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah, no.
Could you imagine? He would like die.
Yeah.
My Aunt Tina came and I asked her to bring Craig's favorite birthday cake so that we could.
So sweet.
Because in my head, this is how overconfident I was. I thought, okay, we're coming in at 6, gonna have the baby by like 1:30. Tina's bringing cake. We're gonna have an evening. We'll blow out candles. This will be great.
It was a great plan, and it was interesting, you know, during the difficult parts of labour, Claire would be like, I just want to eat birthday cake. I'm like, well, you know, you're going to have to wait, sweetie.
All I wanted was birthday cake.
You got a little bit more work to do.
I will say,
you did have it, though.
If someone can bring you a snack that you're really excited about, it's not a bad motivation.
It's a good motivator.
Because I literally the whole time was like, cake. Like, cake after this. So, pop the water.
Yeah,
and then things got real. Yeah, so this is about 4:30, and basically I'm laboring down for, I'd say like another 4 hours at least, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
and then that's when the back labor starts. This is when
was rough.
Yeah, this is when we find out that he's actually facing the wrong direction.
He was kind of turned. He wasn't face down. He wasn't face up. He was at the worst possible angle, which is just like this, so then his broad shoulders, you know, aren't tucked down. So anyway, yeah, he was a little bit turned.
Yes, and putting a lot of pressure on my lower back. And
yes.
This is, because I had been there for a while, we also were going through shifts of nurses. And here's the other thing. Like, you'll notice if you guys have ever gone through labor, or, you know, you're pregnant and you know this is going to happen, you're going to have multiple nurses that are coming in on shifts.
And there's 12 hours.
Exactly. There's going to be some nurses that you love and you're like, oh my God, this is my girl. Like, we totally relate to each other. And then there will be others that maybe it's like just a difference of personality, different style.
Just not vibing,
it's just not your vibe. And so we did have a nurse that wasn't necessarily our vibe, because she would do this thing where she would talk about me as if I wasn't in the room, which really bothered me. And she was mean to my mom.
I didn't notice that she was mean to me.
Well, that's because you had eye on the prize.
Yeah, I was not. I didn't think
she was snippy with you. And it really bothered me.
Oh, okay. Bothered Claire more.
It totally did. I got really emotional and pulled my mom over.
I can't remember what it was that you think she said, but...
Oh, no, this is what happened.
Okay.
You were saying, like, look, can we try to put her in another position?
Oh, that's right. You needed to be in a different position.
Yeah, because I was back laboring.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mom was trying to get me, like, hey, can we put her on the birthing ball? Can we, like, put her on her all fours? Like, what can we do to, like, help give her comfort? And the nurse rolled her eyes and said, oh, my God, like, all doulas say that, like that. She was nice, but it was one of those things where I pulled you aside and I was like, I don't like it. She's talking about me like I'm not here, and she said mean things to you.
So then I went into mom action.
At this point, where we're kind of struggling with the nurse, this is when I start to push. So I have the epidural, but I have this really intense lower back pain as well. So it's really hard to push. And I'm at about like 9 3/4 centimeter. It's just kind of a disaster. My bed gets brought up too quickly and it turns into the exorcist. I start projectile vomiting everywhere. I'm asking the nurse because, I have such constant lower back pain. I'm struggling to tell the difference between, true contractions and fake out contractions. There are such a thing as fake out contractions.
Well, and back pain.
And the back pain.
The problem is you weren't getting a break between your contractions from the pain.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have that little pause to be able to regroup and then get ready to push again.
Well, and to ride that wave.
Yeah, to ride the wave.
I was the equivalent of I already got hit by a wave and now I'm in the bottom with my head in the sand just getting pummeled by waves. When I'm in extreme pain, it's the same as when I'm really drunk, which is I get very formal. Because you do know this about me, where all of a sudden, like if the epidural guy came in and I was like, oh, May I have an epidural, please? It's so good to see you. What's your name? Hello, Dr. So-and-so. Just very...
You were asking for data points.
Oh, yeah, I wanted...
You're asking for...
Benchmarks.
Success markers and benchmarks.
As I said, the nurse that I wasn't really vibing with, she was a little looser in the way that she kind of approached, I guess, pushing. And I'm someone who I really need a coach. So we brought in, a new nurse came in. And she, oh my gosh, she was like a camp counselor / volleyball team captain. And she was great because I basically told her, I'm like, you're the only one I want counting me down. I need you to just tell me, I'm going to ask every time, am I contracting? And I want you to be the one to start the count. And this is when finally things kind of started lock and loading. So this is around 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is where they said, like, look, you're probably going to push for like 2 to 3 hours. And I thought to myself, oh God, that's so long. Yeah. Not realizing that I would be pushing for about 5. The pushing was the most insane thing I've ever experienced because it did feel like a nightmare in the sense that because it was, but also because it felt like the same thing was happening to me over. If anyone has had like anxiety, like an anxiety attack, that's what it kind of felt like, where it was the same thing happening over and over again, and I couldn't like escape it. So basically,
telling you, yeah.
Well, this is what was happening for at least 3 of the 5 hours. Oh my God, you're so close. We can see you.
You got one
it. More like
you
that.
Got this.
You got this. One more. Okay, back to one. That was really good. And I just, every time I was like, at one point I just screamed, I think you're all lying to me. And then at another point,
it was funny.
And then at another point, the nurse was like, I'm going to get you a mirror. It's going to it's going to motivate you. And I was like, it's not going to motivate me. This isn't going to motivate me. And she's like, I'm going to bring it in. She brings the mirror in. I'm like, this isn't very motivating. Because in my head, his like shoulder was out. And then I see it and it's just like this much.
They kept saying, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. And then I'm like, okay, you know,
what is happening?
What's happening? It's like, no, she ain't got it. Like, this is nothing's getting got.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's it. I gotta go.
Well,
I gotta go check out what's going on.
Yeah. And what was happening?
Well, he was being a little sneaky little bugger. He was there, and then he would disappear again.
Well, my favorite description he used is she said it was like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, it was like whack-a-mole. He was just
like I would push him, and then he would disappear back up. I actually was blindfolded for my entire...
Yeah, which actually we just...
It's the best!
Yeah, and the reason why it was also the best, she didn't have any puffiness of the eyes.
That's true. Let's talk about what really matters.
No, I mean, really, because all that pushing, you can really, like, you know, like mess your eyeballs up.
You said that you can get like a popped capillaries.
Yes, you can pop things and stuff. And so you had this lovely, this cold compress on.
Yeah, and that's like once again part of my like childhood soothing technique. I would she would put like a cold compress across my eyes and then spray lavender everywhere. And
Craig, of course, cannot stand the smell of lavender now.
No, he can't.
It's like PTSD
it
with lavender.
Totally makes him like flashback to like memories.
Label room.
Totally. What was amazing about it was for the pushing, it meant that I didn't have bright lights in my face.
No.
I didn't really see all the people. I actually had to really focus on just what was physically happening.
Yeah.
And I would say that like if that's something that doesn't bother you, like I would really think about it for pushing. The other thing that I would say is the most helpful, I genuinely think the only reason why I was able to push for that long, because I'm not an athlete. I'm not like this like strong like marathon running person, but I have done Pilates for years, and
that really helped.
Honestly, if you are planning on having a vaginal birth, take some Pilates classes simply so you know how to engage your pelvic floor.
Yes.
Because that was
vital.
That was it. Like, because the language around how to push properly, because there is a very specific way of doing it, and it's not intuitive.
No, it is not.
Like,
you don't ever get to practice it.
You don't. There's no practice.
There's no practice.
And it's weird.
You're like, what? I got to feel what muscle where? Like, and I can't. And then while you're in all this pain, I mean, it's really difficult to focus.
It is, and the movies don't depict it accurately, by the way. Because the thing is, you're not even when you're pushing, you're supposed to hold your breath. You're not allowed to make noise.
No
At first,
noise.
I tried to make like a Serena Williams kind of like tennis grunt thing happen, and everyone was like, "Stop making noise." I'm like, "Okay."
Because it uses the energy.
It's almost like you're trying to eject your tailbone from your body. That's kind of the feeling.
Oh,
yeah.
Flames.
Yeah, exactly. Kudos to my doctor. My doctor
she
is
was amazing.
Angela Niscio, who, if you live in LA, she honestly best. I could not imagine having a better experience.
No, she's great. She really, as she said, most women would have given up at the 2.5 hour point and said, that's it, get this baby out of me.
Yeah.
And you did not want a C-section. You were very clear about that. You had to be at work in 3 weeks, so she did not
I had to
want
be
to
on
have
set
a
in
C-section.
3 weeks. Yeah.
So that really helped. But the main thing was that the baby's heartbeat was just strong the whole way through.
Oh my God.
He didn't falter.
He was fine.
Dip. He was fine. So it wasn't like you got a moment where the doctor said, well, the baby's in distress, you need to have a C-section. He cooperated.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so he was totally fine, never dipped he was great.
So
yeah, 8:30. He finally.
8:30 a.m.
Yes, I announced to you. I said, "Okay, Claire, they're really getting dressed in these really serious outfits now. I think it's actually about to happen."
She started announcing like at a fancy dinner in an old timey movie, like everyone entering the room. She's like, "Okay, we've got the we've got the
baby nurse here. She's waiting by the thing, so that means it must be coming out." And then Nishio is putting on this plastic hazmat suit. It's just like, I think so. I think you got this, Claire. I think, you've really got this.
It's so
just
funny.
give us 3 or 4 more great ones. And and then he just appeared. And
he came out squawking.
Really squawking.
And then the worst part happened.
Yeah,
this is the part that I didn't know about. So he's out, and I'm like, oh my God, relief! I have a baby.
He's on your tummy.
Beautiful on my chest, like beautiful moment. Craig sobbing, you're sobbing, so beautiful.
Yes, we're cheering and clapping and sobbing.
And then, they have to get the placenta out
and the blood clots.
And the blood. Oh my God!
So they just pump.
They press your belly after you give birth. Okay, recently I saw Atomic Blonde.
Oh yeah.
And there's a scene where like someone who has like gotten stabbed in the stomach
then
gets kicked, and you watch him like that. And I turned to Craig and I was like, I know how that feels exactly. I know exactly how it feels.
It feels so
it's
cruel.
Why are you punching me in the stomach?
Everyone's been awake for 30 hours straight. It's like we're all like so like completely.
It felt mean, which is so
like,
stupid.
But
it felt mean.
But she was actually saving your life.
No,
you don't want the blood clots.
Obviously, it's like
brutal,
there's a medical reason to do it, but
that was tough.
That was the one where I was like, it really felt like someone was like kicking me while I was down.
Yeah,
it
really
was
did
just
too.
like, you've got to be kidding.
I know.
Oh my God.
As a mum, that was hard. That was the hardest part for me to watch.
Well, and for Craig, that's when Craig actually kind of almost started losing it.
Yeah.
And then I got birthday cake for breakfast.
Birthday cake for breakfast. And a good sleep.
Yes.
And, Craig, I mean, I just got to give kudos to
God.
Craig. I mean, it's so important to have the support of the husband to the degree that he was there for Claire. I'll get teary when I think about it, but
yeah.
he's just been amazing. I mean, for the first week, Claire couldn't move really.
Yeah, I separated my hips by about 2.5 centimeters.
Pelvis,
yeah, I went home with a walker.
And Craig, she didn't even have to change a diaper for the first
week.
It was a privilege for me to be there.
Oh no, she's gonna cry.
No crying. Anyway, so you're my firstborn and just my special girl. Yeah, so I know it was beautiful. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
It's so weird. He's out.
Yes, and he's adorable, and you're getting better every week, and it was a beautiful experience.
I know. I feel like this week I'm finally feeling human, because this is like week 3. For the first like week or two, like her and I, if we were talking about Craig, we would both start bawling. We both would burst into hysterical tears, and both being like, "He's just so amazing."
Yeah, he's really great. Because really spectacular.
I honestly can't tell you how. Like it was things where like he would literally lift my feet into bed. Like I couldn't pull my legs out of bed. Like that's how bad it was.
And you had really bad edema too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were very swollen.
Yeah, and
anyway, yeah, it was a lot. But we all got through it and did great, and we, really was a really bonding time.
It was.
And
it was
I'm
beautiful.
For Craig that he was cool with me being there too. That's really special for a son-in-law to be that generous, and I
couldn't have imagined it. I honestly could not have imagined not having you and him there.
Yeah, no, it worked beautifully. I mean, we have good energy.
Oh yeah, well, you both bring different things to the party too, because it's like you're so emotionally grounded, and Craig's very logical.
Yeah.
So it was really great to have like that combination.
Yeah, It was wonderful.
Well, should we bring the little bear out?
Yes, let's bring in the star attraction.
I know you guys want to meet him.
Hello.
This is James. This is little Jamie Bear.
Look at he's sitting up like a good boy. With his eyes wide open.
I know. He just woke up from his nap, so he might start squawking.
There he is.
Hi. But he is my husband's twin.
He certainly is.
Do you want to hold him, Nana?
Hi, buddy.
Yeah. And his nickname is Little Bear. Or Baby Bear.
He sees the camera.
He does. I know. Get used to it, little guy. But he looks just like his dad, which is my favorite. He even has his dimples and big cheeks. And he loves his Nana so much.
There he is.
I know. And he loves cuddles and foot massages. My mom discovered.
He does love foot massages.
Yes. and he's very noisy. Well, this is James. He's, as I said, a little over 3 weeks now, and he's a good boy. He's so sweet.
He's pretty, a sweetheart.
Yeah, we joke. He's like a merciful king. Like he, you know, we get away with a pretty good amount of sleep every night.
Yeah.
He's a good eater. And he's really fun. He makes silly faces, and he's really expressive, and he just loves being touched and held, which is so sweet. Yes. Hi, handsome. Aww. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below. I'd love to hear sort of any thoughts, feelings. Are you guys like nervous about giving birth? I mean, do you have an interesting birth story? I would love to hear about it. And yeah, otherwise, it's the beginning of something really exciting. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, handsome. He's so cute.